Hi everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're having a fun project and making these scientist little amigurumis slash finger puppets. These are so cute and a lot of fun to make, and they're so easy. I'm just going to show you how to make this one, Albert Einstein, but you can easily adapt this pattern and make Isaac Newton or your favorite scientist. So today in the supplies we're going to need, I'm using Red Heart Super Saver yarns. You're going to need for the face color a peach color, which actually I don't know if this is actually Red Heart. This is it feels like Red Heart yarns. It's very Red Heart Super Saver yarns. It's very like a size 4 worsted weight yarn, medium acrylic size, or acrylic blend, sorry. And it is a peach color for the skin tone. So you can use any peach color that you have, an off-white color, or any skin tone color that you can find. You're also going to need charcoal. This one is Red Heart Soft, actually. This is what I used for their robes, and this is Red Heart Soft, and the specific color is charcoal. So you can use any black, charcoal, or gray, or any color you want to make their robe your favorite color. And then I'm using black and white. Black is just going to be embroidering the eyes, and for Isaac Newton here, his mouth. And then white is for Einstein's mustache and his fancy hair here. And then you're going to need a little bit of brown. If you are making Isaac Newton, you're going to need this brown yarn for his hair. And then I used some felt to attach these pieces. Here's a sign that says E equals MC squared. I just wrote that in pen on white felt. And then I made a little apple out of red and green felt. So I cut those out of the felt here, and then I used this tacky glue to glue those pieces on. You're also going to need some polyfill. You can see it back there. Yep, polyfill to stuff the head, because this is a stuffed head piece here, so it's like squishy. So nice little head there. And then the crochet hook we are going to use today is an E hook, which is 3.5 millimeters. So make sure you have that handy. If you want to, you can use a D hook, which is 3 millimeters. You can even go up to a G hook, which is 4 millimeters. So that is totally fine. Up to you. And then we are going to need a scissors, a yarn needle as well, because we're going to cut our yarn, sew in some ends, and sew some pieces together. And then you're going to need a stitch marker. I'm just using a different piece of yarn to mark my stitches for the robe, because we are working in continuous rounds, and it's just nice to mark the beginning of your rounds. So those are all the supplies you're going to need for this project today. Now before we begin, I do have to mention there are links in the description of this video. So there's a link to the written pattern for this scientist, and this is the one I'm going to demonstrate today, little Albert Einstein here. But like I said, you can adapt this, and I show you kind of how to, throughout this video, on how to make Isaac Newton as well. So you can make both of these, and give them to your favorite science teacher. Show them appreciation that you love their science class, or your friend, or someone you love, and get silly and punny with it. Give them to them for Valentine's Day, or cute. And you can make these for children and have little finger puppet shows and talk about, science. Have fun with it. So those are some ideas. But like I said, there are links in the description of this video for the written pattern for these. There's also a link to my Facebook and Instagram. And if you make these or make something like this, please share a photo and share it on Instagram at #YARNutopia so I can see your work on there. And also share a photo on the Facebook. Make sure you're following me on both platforms. Also follow me on Snapchat. I'm YARNutopia on Snapchat, so make sure you're following me there. And before we begin, I have to say a big thank you to my dad, Fuad, Azmat, for taking the time to make this video with us. He is our videographer, editor, and photographer for every single one of our videos here at YARNutopia. So make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube so you can get that update on when he gets our next video posted. So now let's get started and make these cute little scientist finger puppets. To start off, let's start with the skin color, peach color, and let's make a slip knot. So put your short end over the long end, then fold this down, and then pull your long end through, there we go, through that. And there's your slip knot. Insert your hook, and we can begin. So let's start off by making the head. So we are going to chain 5, so yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And then in the second chain from the hook, we are going to single crochet. So the loop on the hook does not count as a chain. So count 1 and 2. And what I personally like to do is just turn my chain toward me. And you can see these back ridges. I'm going to go into that second chain in the back ridge and make a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet. And we're going to single crochet in each of these next 3 chains also. So go into this one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. Next one right here, single crochet, and the next one right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. So now after row 1, you should have 4 single crochets across. So chain 1, turn your work around like that, and now we're going to put 2 single crochets in this first stitch right here. So put 2 single crochets in there, 1 and 2, we're increasing here. In the next 2 stitches, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each one of those. So 1 in that one, hop to the next one and put 1 in there. And then we have 1 stitch left right here, we're going to put 2 single crochets in there. So 1, go back in for 2. So after row 2, you should have 6 single crochets across. Chain 1 and turn your work around, and we are going to go on to row 3. We are going to increase again, so put 2 single crochets in this very first stitch right there. 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. And then we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in this very last stitch right here, we're going to put 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Okay, then chain 1 and turn your work around. You should have 8 stitches after row 3. So going on to row 4 now, we are going to increase 1 more time. Just put 2 single crochets in this very first stitch right here. So 1 and 2. And then in the next, let's see here, 6 stitches now, we are going to put 1 single crochet, or 1 single crochet into each stitch until you get to the very last stitch. And then in that last stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets. So then at the end of row 4, we'll have 10 single crochets. So here's my last stitch is going to get 2. Okay. So that was row 4. Going on to row 5, let's chain up 1 and turn our work around. Now rows 5 and 6 are not increasing or decreasing anything. We are just putting 1 single crochet into each stitch across for a total of 10 single crochets. So that's for rows 5 and 6. I'm working on row 5 right now. When I finish row 6, at the end of row 5, just chain 1, turn your work, and put 1 single crochet in each stitch across. So when I finish row 6, I'll meet you up and we'll go on to row 7. Alright, just finished row 6 here. So again, we still have the 10 single crochets across. So now for row 7, we're going to start to decrease. So let's single crochet these first 2 stitches together. So go into this first stitch here, yarn over and pull through, and then go directly into the very next stitch, and then yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That is a single crochet 2 together because we just decreased those 2 into 1 stitch. Now we're going to single crochet a regular single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 2 stitches left. We're going to decrease those 2 into 1. So go into this first one right here, yarn over, pull through, go into the next one right here, yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So at the end of row 7, you should have 8 stitches across here. So now we can chain up 1, turn the work around, and we're going to decrease again. So single crochet these 2 stitches together. So go into this first one, yarn over, pull through, go into the next one, yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then single crochet a regular single crochet until there are 2 stitches left. And then in these last 2 stitches right here, we're going to single crochet those 2 together. So go in, yarn over, pull through, go into the last stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Chain 1 and turn your work around. Okay, last row here, we're going to single crochet these first 2 stitches together, so decrease right there. And then single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then single crochet these last 2 stitches together. So at the end of row 9, you should have 4 stitches. So now we can fasten off. Let's chain 1, cut your yarn kind of long for sewing, and then pull that all the way through and pull that tight. Okay, so there's 1/2 of the head. So now what I need you to do is rewind this and make one exactly like this, except cut your yarn when you fasten off, just cut it shorter. You don't have to cut it long, because we'll just use this one for sewing. So make 2 of these, and then once you have this one done, then we can go on to making the next piece. Alright, so I set those 2 pieces aside. I grabbed my charcoal yarn. You can use black or charcoal or any color you want the robe to be. And we're going to make a slip knot. So I showed you earlier, just put your short end over that long end, then fold that down and pull that through and pull tight. So there's your slip knot. Insert your hook. And we can make the robe. Now we're going to chain 6. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to come all the way to the first chain way over here and slip stitch into there. So go in and then yarn over, pull through, and pull through. So now we've made a little ring, just like that. So now chain up 1, so yarn over and pull through. And into this ring, we are going to put 12 single crochets. So go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's 1 single crochet, so go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2. Here's 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see I'm working in a circular form. I was also working over the top of this straggler here. 11, last one is here, 12. So if you need to, count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what I'm going to do actually is put a stitch marker in. I like to just put a piece of yarn in here to mark the beginning of my round. You can put a legit stitch marker in this spot if you want to. But what I'm also going to do now is work in the back loops of this project here. So this is the back loop of your stitches, okay? So the front loop is the one closest to you, right here, okay? And these are, the back loops are the ones furthest away from you, right there, okay? So we're gonna work in the back loops only, and we're gonna work in continuous rounds, so that's why I put that stitch marker there. And in this next round, we are just gonna put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So go into this next stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that's 1, next stitch just gets 1, back loop only, single crochet, back loop only, single crochet. Okay, and we're just single crocheting around until we get to the stitch marker, or if you can count, or if you're counting your rounds, count 12 single crochets in total, just 1 single crochet in each stitch. Once you come back around, we can move our stitch marker up. So move the stitch marker up right here, and that was round 2. Okay, going on to round 3, we're going to increase now. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in this first stitch here. So 1 and 2, both in that same stitch. And then just 1 single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Okay, and then we're just going to repeat that around. So 2 single crochets in the back loop of the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. So 2 in the next, and then 1, oopsie, there we go, 1 in the next. Okay, so just keep doing that all the way around. You'll have 18 single crochets at the end of round 3. So I'll meet you up for round 4. Alright, just finished round 3 here, so now we're going to move this stitch marker up 1 round. And going on to round 4, we're actually not going to increase this round. We're going to just single crochet in each stitch around. So very similar to round 2, where we just put 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total now of 18 single crochets. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll meet you up. We'll increase for round 5. Alright, I just single crocheted in each stitch around, so now we can go on to round 5. We're going to increase, so move your stitch marker up, and we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Just remember back loops only, so 2 single crochets in the first stitch here. And then we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, just like that. So then we're just going to repeat that around, so 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, at the end of this round you will have 24 single crochets, so I'm just going to repeat that, and then I'll meet you up for round 6. Alright, so we're done increasing. I'm going to move my stitch marker up for rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so 4 rounds here. We're going to just put 1 single crochet into each stitch. Okay, no increasing, just 1 single crochet in each stitch. And if you want to, you can make this longer. Just continue on going more than, the 9th round. I'm just going to finish at round 9. So I'm just going to do rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9. Just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and then I will meet you up when we're about to fasten off. Alright, so when you if you want to, you can make this longer. This is what it'll look like though, but if you want to make this longer, you can just continue on with those rounds of just putting 1 single crochet in each stitch. But I did rounds 6, 7, 8, and 9 off camera here, so now we're going to go underneath both loops of the next stitch right there, and we're going to slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, we can fasten this off, so chain 1, and then we're going to cut our yarn. You don't have to cut it too long. We're going to sew that in right away. So pull that through and then pull tight. You can remove that stitch marker if you hadn't already. And then we're going to grab our yarn needle, yarn your needle with that loose end. Okay, flip this to the inside here. And then just go underneath some of those stitches with your yarn needle and sew in that end, just to hide it and make sure it's hidden completely. And if you want to, you can, go back and forth here so it's secure and hidden. Just like that. Stretch it out, cut any extra you may have. Be careful with the scissors. And there it is, the nice little robe. So there's our little, where the fingers will go in, and that will be where we have our thing. So now we are going to go on to the next step. We're going to grab, I'm going to make Einstein in this tutorial here. So we're going to grab some white. Let's make the mustache right away. Just make a slip knot. I showed you how to do that earlier. And the mustache is really super simple. All you need to do is just chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then in that third chain, or way over here, this first chain here, just put 2 double crochets in there. Oh, so a double crochet, let me explain this, as yarn over, go into that chain, then yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. So that's a double crochet. So again, I'll show you, yarn over, go back in, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. And then we can fasten off, so chain 1, and then cut this yarn a little longer for sewing and pull that all the way through and pull tight. And then all you need to do is just make one exactly like this, so for the other side. Okay, so I have these 2 made already. So this is what the mustache is going to look like. Now that's if you're making Einstein. If you're making Isaac Newton, you just need to embroider the face on one of these pieces this way. Okay, so we made this piece, so just embroider eyes and a mouth on one of these pieces. If you're making the Einstein scientist, we can put this mustache right in the middle of the face, right there. Okay, I'm going to sew this on, and then we can embroider eyes. So let me grab my yarn needle here. We're going to yarn the needle with a straggler, the short one first. Going through this one, we're going to sew these 2 together first. So going through this. Okay, make sure they're going the same way. There we go. Okay, and then this one can go through this one. Okay. Or if you want to, you can cut that out of felt, just a mustache kind of out of felt if you want to do that as well. Just a white mustache. You can do that too. Okay, and then so I just tied that in a knot back there, and then what I'm going to do is kind of position this on the face. Oopsie, sorry, my face is going to go this way. Okay, so this Isaac Newton's face is going this vertical way. You can see the stitches going this way, but I'm going to turn this like this for Einstein. Okay, and then I'm going to put this right in the center there. Okay, it's kind of obnoxious. And then we're going to take my hook, and I'm going to take those 2 stragglers that I tied in a knot. I'm going to pull those through to the back. If I can get it, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to take one of the long strands and sew this mustache down. So just position it where you want it to go, and just go in to the face. And then out the mustache. Okay, then back in, and then out again. Okay, and just continue sewing this on. Once well, I'm almost done actually. You can watch me here. I'm just gonna go like that. Okay, and then when I need to fasten this off, what I'm going to do is actually bring the other straggler to the other side, and we're just going to tie it in a knot. And you don't have to sew in any ends because this will be on the inside of everything that'll be stuffed, so it's really, you don't really have to sew in any ends here. So this is upside down. There we go. So that's what it should look like. So now we can go to this side and tie these 2 pieces in a knot. Oops, let me bring this one to the back here. There we go. That looks more like it. So I'm just tying these in a knot here now. So that is secure. And if you want to, you can cut all these strands shorter. Just like that. Now grab the black yarn. If you want to, also cut black out of felt, and you can glue on the eyes if you want to, but I'm going to sew on some eyes. So I'm going to yarn my needle with some black yarn. Okay, and then where I want the eyes to go, I'm just going to come through and go back through. And I'm going to do that 3 times for each eye. So that was 1, this is 2. Okay, and 1 more time. Oh my gosh, he's starting to look like the Monopoly guy. This is so funny. Okay, there we go. So there's 1 eye. And to fasten that off, I know the back side looks really messy right now, but don't worry, we will get it under control and hidden. So let's tie that in a knot. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other eye. So you just watched me do this 1 eye, so you won't have to watch me do the other eye. I'm just going to take this straggler that's already on my hook and go through and do the other eye. So do that, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so I just made the other eye there. So now what we want to do is grab the other piece of the head right here, and we're just going to sandwich these 2 together. And we're going to take that one that we cut with the long strand and yarn our needle with that long strand. We're going to use that for sewing. So we're going to sew all the way around this head. Okay, so line it up with the other one. Okay, and then we're just going to go through these stitches, so this stitch into this stitch. Okay, and I'm going to whip stitch this around, meaning I'm going to always come through this side and go through that side. Okay, so come through this side, go through that side. And I'm going to do that all the way around this piece, but I'm not going to sew it up completely because I do want to stuff it. So I'm going to just sew it up until I have about like this much space left on this side, and then I'm going to stuff it and continue sewing it closed once it's fully stuffed. But I'm just going to do this all the way around, and then I'll meet you up when I'm going to stuff this head. Alright, so I have just this much space left, so I grabbed some polyfill, so we're just going to stuff this head now. And the more and more I look at it, if you just put a top hat, like a black top hat on this thing, it would look like the Monopoly guy. Like crazy. It's so awesome. But anyway, we're going to make him into Einstein. So let's stuff this head as much as we want. You can do it, you know, however, whenever you're satisfied. Just don't stuff it, you know, too much where you're seeing the stuffing through the stitches. But just enough. There we go. Okay, and then kind of, if you see any loose ends through the stitches, just kind of grab your hook and move them out of the way. There we go. You don't want to see anything through the stitches. Awesome! That's looking so cute. Okay, so now let's finish closing this up real quick. I'll show you how to fasten off. So we're just going to continue doing the whip stitch all the way to finish this. Alright, then to fasten off, let me show you. I'm going to go through a couple of stitches here. Okay, I'm going to keep this loop up, put my finger in there to, you know, keep it up like that, and then we're going to come back around through that loop and then pull tight, and that fastens it off. And you can do that once or twice, it's totally up to you, but it's secure. It's not going to fall apart. So cute. So now we can just shove this inside. So I'm just going to take my needle and go across and just pull that through. Cut any extra and then stretch it out to hide that completely. And there it is. Awesome. Now all we have to do is make the hair. So grab your white yarn. If you are making this guy, this Isaac Newton, grab brown. Okay, I'll show you how to fray out the yarn. So what we're going to do, you can grab your brown yarn or your white yarn if you're making Einstein. I'm making Einstein, so I'm going to use my white. Take strands of yarn that are about, I would say 6 to 8 inches, okay? And you can take as many as you want. We're going to go crazy here, so we're going to go with like 10 to 15 strands here. So let me see how many I have. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, let's do 13 for now, and we can cut more if we want more. But then we're just going to cut that, and we're going to cut each strand like that. Okay, so we have all these loose strands. Okay, loose strands. So now, oops, I didn't cut this one. There we go. Okay, so now we have all these strands. So now what we're going to do is take this head, and you can go right down the center, start in the center, I guess, and go in with your hook around the stitch. Okay, take one of the strands, fold it in half, and hook that with your hook, and then pull it through that stitch, just a little bit, and then hook the rest of that yarn and pull it through that loop. And then pull that tight. And there we have our starting hairs attached. And now you can attach yarn however you want to around stitches. Just kind of stick your hook in around a stitch, just like that. Fold your piece of yarn in half, hook it on the hook, and then partially pull it through, and then hook on those 2 strands and pull those through all the way. Okay? And there's more strands of yarn. So now we're just going to do that all the way around wherever we want the hair to go. So I'm just going to grab this hook, fold the yarn in half, pull it through, and then hook it on and through that loop and pull tight. Okay, once I have all this attached, I'm going to meet you up, and then we will fray the yarn out and make his hair all crazy looking. But just, you know, it's a kind of a tedious process, so take your time with it, and then once your hair is how you are to your liking, and you're satisfied, then we can meet up and we'll fray this yarn out and have wild and crazy Einstein hair, and then we'll be able to attach the body to the head. Alright, so I just attached some yarn for Einstein's hair, but now his hair is really frizzy and fray-like, so we want to fray this out. So what I'm going to do is grab my yarn needle, and I'm going to kind of just lay this down here and just go but one by one. This part is a little tedious, but we're just going to take our yarn needle, go in between the ply of the yarn, okay, and just separate them just like that. And then just go through and comb it out, and that creates some fraying. Okay, so we're just going to fray each strand. That's why I didn't do the whole head of this piece. You can see here, back here, he's all bald. So we're just going to do some of it. If you want to, you can do the whole head. I mean, he had a lot of hair that was really frayed, and, you know, really, like, just a lot. And curly and uneven. So we're going to fray this out, and then we're going to cut it to stand straight up in some areas, and then we'll be able to attach the head to the body. Alright, look at those Einstein locks. Wow, that is really frayed. So now what we need to do, since I don't want his hair to like be like down like this, I want it to go crazy, because that's what what I've seen in photos of what he used to look like. So what I'm going to do is kind of go like this with my fingers, kind of pinch them, and then I'm just going to go in with my scissors. Now be very careful in this part, and just kind of trim down a few pieces just randomly, because his hair kind of was random. Just be very careful with the scissors and kind of just cut anywhere. And just do it to your liking. You know, you can always just cut and then kind of fray this out. Shake it out. And then see if that's what you like. And that's not what I like. So I'm going to go back in. And let's just cut straight across. So you can cut it however you want. I'm just going to cut straight across, and then we'll go from there. Oh, I'm giving Einstein a haircut. There we go. It looks so silly. Okay, and then we can kind of mess it around. That looks much, much better. So I like it like that. Okay, you can style his hair however you'd like, but that's more of what his hair kind of looked like, and you can get dramatic with it. It really doesn't matter. So then when you're satisfied with how Einstein's hair look, you know, if you're making the Isaac Newton one, you don't have to cut his hair. His hair was long and curly and straight down, so just like that, so you don't have to cut his hair or make it super crazy. Just fray it out, and it was curly and long. Okay, so that's the Isaac Newton one. So now the Einstein, we just need to attach the body to his head like this. Oh my gosh, that looks so funny. Okay, I can't get over this hair. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab some gray yarn just from the ball of yarn, and I'm going to yarn my needle with that. Okay, and we're going to go up inside of the robe here. Okay, this is the back side right here. Okay, that's where we fastened off. And I'm going to go through these stitches from round 1. Okay, and I'm just going to go up through there. And then you want to have the back of the head be by the back of the robe, just like that. And we're just going to kind of like whip stitch this. So we're going to go into a couple of stitches here, and then down through the center here and out round 1. Okay, and we're gonna go back up, and this part is going to be kind of difficult because these pieces are quite small, so you really have to get coordinated. But we're just going around in a circle. Oh. Around in a circle around this piece, and you can just manipulate this however you need to be able to see the stitches, to be able to get through the stitches. Okay, and obviously, you know, this looks loose right here, but when I pull it really tight, it'll tighten it up. Okay, and that's what we want. We want it to be tight, and we want this to be able to fit on him. So now I'm coming back around here, and we're just going to in the bottom of a couple of stitches here, going into the center circle, and then out the next stitch on this robe here. Okay. Almost done. Alright, now when you're ready to fasten this off, what we need to do is go through, here, let me grab this, sorry, my hands are all in the way. There we go. Okay, so that's secure on there all the way around. Looks good. Make sure you stretch that so that you can, or not stretch it, pull it tight so that you can have this guy be secure on his body. And then we're going to go into the inside of the robe with the needle. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of put this inside out so we can kind of see what's going on inside here. I'm going to cut these 2 strands short, tie these 2 loose ends in a knot, and then I'll sew those ends in. Let me grab my yarn needle again. Sew these ends in to just hide them inside of the head. Just come out this part right here. If it works. Oh man, doesn't fit. Well, we'll get it to fit in there. Just go through. There we go. Pull that through. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then cut this short. Stretch it out. And there it is. So last thing, to make sure everybody knows that this is Einstein if they can't get it from his hair, I grabbed a piece of felt over here somewhere. Here it is. And I wrote E=mc² on it. I'm just going to glue that on his front just so people know that that is Einstein. So I just put some glue on there, tacky glue, and just put that on his front. Okay, and that's why you can tell that this is Sir Isaac Newton, because he has an apple on him for gravity. So there they are. How cute are these little finger puppets, or little, I don't know, toys, characters, amigurumis for anybody. These are cute little learning tools, cute for your science teacher, cute for your Valentine. You can tell them you've got great chemistry, haha. Or that you're falling for them. Okay, I'm so lame. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so you can get that update on when my dad posts the next video. I'll see you next time. Happy hooking!